So today we are at Bastrop State Park.
This one is kind of similar to my hometown state park. I didn't grow up in Bastrop, but I did go to school here. I didn't come here often because it was like a 20-minute drive from my house because I grew up out in the country. There is a lot to say about Bastrop State Park, so I'm going to try to give a really quick rundown. Sorry, this is probably going to be long. The most recent history here was in September of 2011. We had really, really high wind conditions, and a tree fell into a power line, and a spark ignited the worst fire in Texas history.
And there was a drought. A very long drought.
We were in the middle of a very, very severe drought. It was just a perfect storm for disaster, really. The fire caught, and if I can find the video, I will link it below. But there's this wildlife cam that was up in the park here that the fire crosses the frame, and it was so fast. So fast. The winds were insane and just spread quickly.
And we were living in Bastrop County at the time.
The house that I grew up in.
Working and living in Bastrop County, so...
Yeah,
we were here for that.
It was terrifying. I remember the day that embers started falling on our house, and we packed up and we left. It was very scary. It burned over 32,000 acres. A lot of homes were lost. A couple of people lost their lives. We have a lot of friends that lost everything in that fire. At the time, we were working at the Sherwood Forest Renaissance Festival, and a lot of the people that we knew there also lived in that area. We had a couple of friends that lost their home, all of their animals. They had horses. They lost everything. It was devastating. That is the most recent history here. It affected 96% of Bastrop State Park. It's devastating. Also, the interesting thing about this little section of Bastrop, that's called Lost Pines because there's this huge swath of loblolly pines, but a lot of it was lost during that fire. A lot of it.
Yeah, and there's a Boy Scout camp really close to here that has the same pine trees and like that, and that's probably where I spent most of my time in Bastrop County camping, was at the Lost Pines Boy Scout camp. So I'm used to this terrain, just not this park.
Yeah, we've driven through this park a few times, but we haven't gotten out and hiked it. I came a couple of times when I was in high school with a boy that I was dating. Oh my goodness. But we just drove through. We didn't do anything. We didn't hike any of the trails and I've only been
lame.
There. I know. There's a park, or there's a pool here that I've only been to once. They do have an outdoor swimming pool in Lockhart. Another interesting fact about Bastrop State Park is that I'm going to pause there because I need to look this up. Sorry.
It's okay. I can see y'all stretchers, but all I've been really wanting to do this entire time. Oh, look at that merch.
The other really cool thing about Bastrop State Park is it is the only state park in Texas that was designated as a National Historic Landmark to honor the incredible work that the Civilian Conservation Corps did here in the 1930s when this park was built. There is so much in this park that was built by the CCC, and we are hoping to get to show you a lot of that today. We're probably going to start with a lot of those things because it is raining, and we did not expect that today. So it's supposed to clear up in another 45 minutes, so hopefully the rain will quit and we can get to the trails. But this park is cram-packed full of history. The fires add an entire layer of history underneath that. You'll see still... You'll see still a lot of fire damage out here. It has been 10 years almost. It'll be 10 years this year. Wow. Man. It's almost been 10 years. And it's still, there's a lot of new growth. They've done a lot of replanting of the lollies, trying to bring that ecosystem back. But you're still going to see a lot of areas that are just burned out, wooded areas. And it's very sad. This whole area really changed dramatically after all of that. I'm not sure, I'll have to do some research. There's also a golf course here, but for some reason it doesn't exist now. They've turned all of the cart paths into walking paths, which I don't think we're going to walk today. It's literally just walking the old cart trails for the golf course, and it's 5 miles worth of paths. So I'm not sure what happened with that.
It may be the fires have affected
Yeah.
it too much, and it was too expensive to rebuild the golf course. Who knows?
Who knows?
Or it was too expensive to maintain the golf course. Who knows?
If I find out, I'll put some information here. Okay, that was enough time for that. So
Okay.
anyways, we're going to start with showing you guys the awesome cabins that are here. They're beautiful. They're incredible. The CCC built them. I think there's 14 in total. You'll notice that some are built entirely of stone and some have wooden siding, and that's because like partway through they decided that the sandstone was too expensive. And it's all locally sourced materials. So the stone, the wood, everything came from this area.
And it blends in really well.
It really does. I really want to come and stay. So hopefully we'll get to do that in the future sometime. But yeah, you'll notice there's two different kinds. They have the stone siding and then the wooden siding, and they all just look really neat. So we'll drive through and we'll show you guys those, and then we'll move on up to the pool area and show you guys that, and we'll see if it's still raining. Also, we stayed up really late playing D&D last night, so we're very tired, but we're gonna do stuff, get it done. This structure here was also built by the CCC. The wooden roof was lost in the Bastrop fires in 2011, but they did rebuild it. The stone structure survived. So we're gonna go check it out. It's really beautiful walking through and seeing all of the new growth, but at the same time, it's set next to the stark contrast of all of the reminders of what raged through here 10 years ago. notice when you come into the park that you're going to see signs that say, watch out for falling trees. You'll see them kind of throughout the park, and there is a huge reason for that, this being one of them. If there's one good thing that came out of the wildfires here in 2011, it's that they uncovered structures like this. This was an old CCC built water fountain. Originally, this was meant to be a picnic area so that as you walked along the trail, you had a place to stop off and have a drink of water and sit and have lunch. It's really, really cool. They've discovered quite a few things out here that they didn't really know currently that existed, and it's neat to kind of rediscover that history. Just like the other overlook, the roof burned in the fire. It wasn't the original roof, they had actually recently replaced it, but the structure still stood. So it has a new roof on it now. And when you're here, if you look in this general direction, you can see like a red cliff face. That's where they quarried all of the sandstone to build the buildings in the park. Just realized that we made a mistake, but also not a mistake, because as you can see, the trail behind us is closed. We passed another section of it earlier, and I thought, oh, it's just another trail that must be closed due to the controlled burns. It's not even on the map. How weird. And we've been walking down this giant path, And we just realized that we've been walking down the old roadbed, which is here to walk on. I did not notice this giant X. So these trails are closed because this is where they're doing controlled burns. We just got to this, which is open to go this way. It is on this side. So now we're gonna get back on the Lost Pines Loop and finish that out. Park recap.
The Bastrop State Park is a very nice park. I think for me personally, my favorite part about it was the CCC buildings. They are unlike any other CCC buildings we've seen so far. That doesn't mean that we're not going to see better ones. We still have a lot to do.
I'm assuming since this is the park that got the National Historic Landmark recognition for the Civilian Conservation Corps buildings, that these are probably the most impressive ones we're going to see. They're just really beautiful.
Yeah.
They did such a wonderful job here on those. We really want to come back and stay in the cabins that we saw at the beginning. Those are really cool.
Mm-hmm.
The trails here are really nice. They're very, very different. There's like sandy to rocky to just flat and easy to lots of inclines. And they're all over the place. It was really nice. Lots of different terrain to go over.
Some of the trails, as we said in the video, were actually shut down because of some controlled burning, I believe.
Yeah, yep.
So definitely be aware of that. They marked them on the map when we came in, but they didn't specifically tell us about them. So
yeah, they didn't say anything about it, and the pen marks on the map were so faint, I didn't even see it on there, and I've been looking at the map all day. So something that we have learned multiple times and that we keep forgetting to do or have to keep doing, like we need to learn our lesson essentially, is when we check in, just ask if there are any trails closed. We just need to ask.
yeah,
because
we've done it a few times.
We've done it a couple of times.
But we forgot this time.
Yes. And of course, naturally, we ask because the park that we had gone to previously had trails that were closed and we didn't ask. And then we'll go to a park and ask and we're like, no, everything is open. And then we get comfortable and we forget and then we don't ask on the next one and we end up in this kind of situation. But luckily, it wasn't a bad thing.
No.
There are some other places that we've kind of gone to where not realizing that a trail was closed would have been a very...
Yeah.
that you would have gotten way out and then realized, oh no.
This was a nice little cutover, so everything kind of worked out. Overall, the park is pretty cool. I think one of the big draws here is the pool, which is not open because it's pretty cold today.
Yeah.
So,
it's February, so... Yeah.
I mean, I think that it's a really cool park. The sad part about this park is because of the fires.
I knew this one was going to be sad.
It is so sad walking through, having seen previously what it looked like when we were kids to what it is now. It's just, you can't help but feel sad looking at all the burnt down trees.
Yeah. And it is uplifting to see all the new growth coming in, all those little baby pines out there that are starting to come through. And you're so excited for it. But this was such a majestic place beforehand, and it's just heartbreaking to come through and see it. So I think I've almost been kind of avoiding this one a little bit because I knew it was going to be tough. Like, yeah, you know, I came through this area daily near about, you know, I went to school right over there. So it's just sad. It's sad to see it all.
But they are working pretty hard to get it back to the state it was. It's just going to take some time. Trees,
it's going to take a long time.
Trees grow. So
yeah, I mean, some of these trees have been here for a good 9 years, and they're like maybe a third as tall as the ones that have burned. So it's gonna give it another 20 years and we'll have a beautiful forest back, but it's gonna take a while.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind when you come to visit. It's growing back. It's a phoenix rising from the ashes. It's on its way.
All in all, though, the state park in Bastrop was pretty great, and
really great.
There weren't very many people out here.
No, we ran into a couple of people on the Big Pine Loop Trail. I think that's the name of it.
And speaking of the CCC buildings, we're also very interested in coming back to stay in some of their cabins.
I said that earlier, and I'm very excited about it. I don't know if you heard me, but I keep slipping it in as like we should come back and stay here.
So we're definitely probably going to come back to stay in those cabins for a little while to kind of experience that. Because they're just in the woods, and they're beautiful and everything.
And some of them have these really great, like, little back porch areas. Like, they just look really cool. I like them a lot. There are some other buildings that look like newer cabins, but I haven't really been able to find any information on them. And they say group barracks, so I think it's probably more of, like, we're bringing our Boy Scout troop out here for a
Big
retreat.
events,
That kind of thing. And they have, like, a big dining hall and those types of things. But I didn't see any information about it on the website. But in all, it was a great park. I had a great day. If you're in the Bastrop area and you want to swing through, even if you don't want to hike it, it's a gorgeous park to drive through. And you can actually drive through Bastrop State Park into Buescher State Park, which is where we're going to be tomorrow. They back up one to each other, and they have a park road that runs straight through. So it's a gorgeous drive just to even come through. And you can even drive up. There's a couple of scenic overlooks that you can stop at in the car. So even if you're not into hiking or you're not able to hike, but you want to come out and see this beautiful place, like, you can easily drive through and really, really get to enjoy it. So we hope that you get to come and visit, and we'll see you tomorrow. Welcome to MapCap. My battery is dying. I'm going to try to do this super quick. Okay. We went and drove around and checked out all kinds of stuff. And then we came and parked up here at this parking area. That's where the first outlook is, that you can go and check out, and you don't have to hike any trails to get to. Then we jumped on the Scenic Overlook Trail, took it down to the Farkleberry Spur. That's this guy here. We walked down the road, caught onto the Pine Warbler Trail, went back up to the Scenic Overlook, finished that trail out. We walked down and had lunch. There's like this whole camping area here. There's picnic tables and stuff, so we went down there and had lunch. Then we jumped on to the the Lost Pines Loop. Went around this way, came and checked out Fair's Overlook up here. That's pretty cool. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this with my left hand. Oh boy. So then we came around here and did this. Did not realize this was closed off, and I thought it was a totally different trail. Whoa, where are we? There we are. So we kept walking on what was available, which we didn't realize was the old roadbed. So we did that. Saw another trail. This was closed. Realized this was the original trail that we wanted to be on. So we jumped back on this, came around, and finished out the car. All of this over here was closed. They're doing controlled burns, so none of that is available. There's an X mark here that's just, I just didn't see it. It's very faint. I didn't notice it. So those are the trails that we walked today. We did miss a couple. We missed this guy here, this little bit here, and then this trail here. Also, this whole area is where the golf course used to be. All of the golf cart paths are now walking paths. So if you want just easy flat terrain that you can maybe take a stroller out on, this is going to be where you want to go because it's all paved. So that's what we saw. We hope that you guys get to go out and have a great time. Thanks. Bye.